Okay, perfect. Now, please maintain the decorum of this session. Everyone is stay muted. If you have something to say, of course, I will be more than happy to look into the chat and get your question. But stay muted so everyone could really focus on the real stuff. So the second thing I was saying is our session will be for almost 1 hour. I still see some people are unmuted. I really need to fix this issue. Okay. Okay, everyone is muted. Okay, perfect. So see, guys, this is distracting us and we are just going off the track. So let's please be professional and just try to stay muted and pay your attention. So what I was saying is this session will be for 1 hour. And after 1 hour session, we will have a quick conversation group. Conversation group is basically a group where I will be introducing a topic to you guys. And this is my own system, which will really give you a roadmap where you can practice speaking. So in that conversation group, I will be giving you a topic, but under that main topic, I will be giving you sub questions. Why sub questions? Because many times, if we invite someone that you have to speak on some topic, many times it happens that you are not really getting the idea what you want to say. So for that reason, I just wanted to make this speaking practice super simple so you could get the idea. In simple words, you could get the trigger so you could practice. So I came up with some ideas that is sub question, and you can simply, I would say, get those questions and speak about them. All right, I'm just getting some messages on WhatsApp. Let me close that. All right. Okay, so now let's get it started. I'm going to share my screen, then we'll discuss day one. All right. All right, day one. So day one, we are going to talk about assessing your English fluency and setting your 90-day goal. So this is what we're going to talk about today. When I say assess your English fluency, it is very critical because when you go to a doctor, when you have some kind of disease, before the prescription, before the doctor writes the prescription, the doctor tries to understand the real root of the disease. And for that reason, you go through some kind of checkup, some kind of test. It could be blood test and those kind of stuff. In the same way, I am going to take you through a test where you will be able to assess or evaluate your English fluency. And we will not only be talking about what is your level, or I do not believe in level, number one. I believe in experiences. So you will simply get to know how is your experience in English fluency. And I will also be asking you some leading questions that will enable you to come up with the area of your improvement. And once we identify, got it, this is what I am going to work on, or this is what I need to work on, then we are going to set together a 90-day goal. And why goal? I'll be talking more about when I'll be really talking how you can set your goal. But setting a goal is very important. So let's talk about it. In this session, that means today, we will talk about the fluency wheel, the 6 pillars of fluency. I'll be talking about 80-20 rule, that is also called the Pareto principle. And this rule is very much famous in business, but here we are talking that rule in English. I'll just let you know why I'm talking about that rule in English, but we'll talk about Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. Then we'll talk about how to decide on the right score for your fluency pillars. We'll be talking about 6 pillars of the fluency, and I will tell you exactly how you can score your pillars, each pillar. Then I'll also tell you how to know what to improve in the pillars. We know there are 6 pillars of the fluency. I'll be guiding you in this section. How can you know what you need to work in each of the pillars? And finally, we will be learning how we can set a goal. So this is what we are going to discuss in today's session. Let's first talk about the 6 pillars of fluency. They are comprehension, listening understanding, speaking time, active vocabulary, confidence and mindset, grammar, pronunciation. If you attended my master class, you are very much familiar with it. But today we will be going very deep inside of it. So when I say comprehension, I mean listening, understanding. And this is very important. And we are talking about communication. And when I say communication, it's not just about talking or speaking. It's also about listening and understanding. So it is very important to have comprehension level, understanding level. That is number 1 pillar. The second pillar is speaking time. Fluency can only be achieved by speaking. And that is an important element of English. So we'll talk about speaking time. That is the second pillar. The third pillar is active vocabulary. 1 second, guys. It goes way. All right, here we are. All right, so the third pillar is active vocabulary. And we talk about active vocabulary in contrast of passive vocabulary. When I say passive vocabulary, I'm talking about those kind of words which we know. That means when we can read, they are understandable. When we listen to those words, we understand them. But when it comes to speaking, we cannot use those words. They are called passive vocabulary. But here we are talking about active vocabulary, those words which we know and we also use whenever we need to use them. That is the third pillar. The fourth pillar is the confidence and mindset. And for most people, this feels like we are talking about English. So why do we need to talk about confidence and mindset? But believe me, guys, this is very important. How you feel about your English and how do you really feel about your confidence, how confident you are. That is an important integral part of our fluency. So we'll talk about that one too. That is the fourth pillar. The fifth pillar is grammar. And many times you might hear from someone, do you really need to learn grammar? I say, of course, we do need to learn some grammar, some essential grammar to have the basic understanding. And of course, when I say you have to learn grammar, I'm not telling you to just go and read and memorize those boring grammar rules. No, that's boring. I'm not telling you to do that. We have to learn grammar in a natural way, just like we kind of mastered our own grammar language, the grammar of our native language. So grammar is the fifth pillar of the fluency. The sixth pillar of the fluency is the pronunciation. And pronunciation is the ability to understand and to use your voice and your sound in the clear way. So look, your pronunciation also influences your fluency. So if you have better pronunciation, you are also gonna get fluent. But we are talking about fluency. If you are wondering what fluency is, I do know most of you know what fluency is, but if I simply define this, fluency is the ability to express your thoughts in a free way. That means you're feeling absolutely free while talking about your ideas, about your thoughts. That is fluency. I always think of fluency like fluid. Fluid is like water. When water moves, it moves smoothly. And the same way, when we are talking about fluency, fluency means when we are talking, everything is just coming out in a very smoother way. That is fluency. All right, so now I just told you these are the 6 pillars of the fluency. Now let's talk about how we can really get to know what is the score, or how we rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10 in all of these 6 pillars. Because once we identify this is my score in this pillar, that will tell us this is the area where you need to work on. Because I'm telling you, this is the wheel. And metaphorically speaking, if you want to move this wheel, of course, you want to have a balanced wheel, not a crooked wheel. Some edges are very high, some edges are very down. That is a crooked wheel. That will not move as smoothly. You want to have a very rounded, balanced wheel. So, for example, if your pronunciation is just 2 and all the other pillars are 8 or 9, of course, this wheel is not balanced wheel. And when you are going to move that wheel, of course, you can speak, but if your pronunciation is very bad, you will be struggling to communicate your ideas. You're speaking and people are just asking questions. What are you saying? Repeat yourself, huh? They just make these kind of expressions, which is frustrating because we have to repeat the same thing again and again. So what I'm telling is this: we have to have a balanced kind of numbers in all of these 6 pillars. In a moment, I'm going to guide you with my leading questions, how you can score yourself in a better way. But I'm going to tell you, this is not a science, or this is not a school test. So please do not get obsessed with your accurate number. What is my accurate number? Just ask this question. It's all about your satisfaction. How satisfied are you with each of the pillar? This is the question you have to ask. You know very well somewhere, you know, how is your grammar, how is your pronunciation, how is your active vocabulary, you know somewhere. But I will be asking and I will be giving you some prompts, some triggers that will help you come up with your answer. But before we talk about that, let me tell you, once we rate our pillars, and if we score less in any of the pillars, we are going to use the Pareto principle. That is the 80-20 rule. We are not going to focus on everything. We are not going to get overwhelmed. We are going to focus on 20% that will get us 80% of the result. And that's what Pareto principle says. Your 20% of actions will be responsible for 80% of your result. So I will be once again asking some very specifically designed questions, and those questions will enable you to come up with your 20%. I mean, what do you really need to improve? Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. Let me drink some water. All right, so now is the time for us to score our pillars, all the 6 pillars. Let's start with pronunciation. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you score your pronunciation? And I'm just gonna guide you with some prompts so you could get to know where you can score yourself. You'll get the feeling. Number one, that means on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is like you're saying, my pronunciation is severely affecting my clarity, fluency, and confidence. Severely means very seriously. So if pronunciation is a very big problem for you, like it's a big deal for you, whenever you speak, you mispronounce a lot of words, you really struggle to say the words in a very good way. That means it is a very bigger problem for you. So if you feel this way, you will give 1. That means it is a very big, serious issue for you. Number 10 would be, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the highest one. 10 would be my pronunciation is clear and I express myself fluently. So if you feel this way, that means your pronunciation is absolutely crystal clear. Whenever you speak everything very fluently. All the words are just being pronounced very easily by your articulation organs. You are having no issue saying any words, any sounds of English are not problematic for you. That means there is no improvement for pronunciation for you. If you feel this way, you will giving 10. Now you get the idea. So now I want you to just take out your notebook. Guys, I'm telling you, this is absolutely important for you to stay engaged and take notes. So I want everyone to just write pronunciation and score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Just give the number, what you feel your pronunciation is like. Come on, everyone. Let me look. If possible, you can just put in the chat as well. Everyone. I'll be not moving forward until everyone just writes their score. Okay, perfect. And I really appreciate your honesty. You just have to be honest. Of course, we are. Okay, 6, 7, 5. Everyone, I told you we need only serious people who are serious about their English. I hope you'll respect my time and I'm gonna respect your time. All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm getting numbers. That's great. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I really need to connect my charger. It shows. 1 second, guys. I'll be back. All right, 1 second, guys. Let me mute. Sorry for that. Okay, so we scored out pronunciation. Now, we are going to use Pareto principle, 80-20 rule to get to know if we score less in pronunciation, where should our focus go? So for that, I'm going to ask you some questions and be very attentive. Of course, it's not possible for you to write all the answers of these questions right now. We do not have that much time in this session. but I really want you to reflect on all those questions and really answer them. So if you score 5 or less than 5 in pronunciation, here are some of the questions you should be reflecting on. Question 1. What are the English sounds you struggle with? So you really have to think, what are the English sounds you struggle with? That's question 1. Question 2 would be, what are the elements of speech and voice you're lacking? Like intonation. Do you lack intonation? Intonation is like the voice modulation, the voice flexibility. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. So do you use that when you speak? Does your voice sometimes go up, like head voice? And sometimes do you use your chest voice? Rhythm. When you speak, are you using a specific rhythm that is English rhythm, not the rhythm of your own language? Very often we use the rhythm of our own language into English. That's the reason English sounds different. The third, you can think about your stress. Do you stress the right word? Do you stress the right phrase? So you have to really think what exact element of a speech you are lacking. The third question you might ask, if you score less in pronunciation, what words do you find hard to pronounce? Sometimes we avoid some of the words because we are not sure how to pronounce them. And they look very scary, long words, and we are not sure how to pronounce them. So you can just make a list of all those words which are problematic for you. And one by one, I believe in just 1 hour, you can easily solve all those problems. Just make a list of all those words which are scary to you and just go on Google, ChatGPT. You can use all these resources and just look at the correct pronunciation. They'll just give you the transcription. You can even listen to their recording and you can easily solve those questions. All right. Now we just scored our pronunciation and we looked at some of the questions that will help us design our 20% of the pronunciation plan where we are going to work to improve our pronunciation. Now let's talk about grammar score. Once again, on a scale of 1 to 10, you have to rate your grammar. 1 is like, I feel like I'm constantly making grammar mistakes and I do not know how to fix them. If that is the situation with you, you'll be scoring 1. So you make constant mistakes. When you speak English, you make grammar mistakes every single sentence, every single time. And you have no idea how you can fix them. So if you feel this way, you'll give 1 to your grammar. And if we talk about 10, it would be like, I have advanced knowledge of grammar and I use it when I speak. So it's not just that you know advanced grammar, but it is the situation where you also use the grammar. That means whatever you know in grammar, they are transferred into your speaking. If that is the situation, you'll be giving 10. So once again, I'm asking you to just score your grammar, thinking of these prompts. Come on, everyone. Let me look into the chat. What do you think? All right. Grammar 7. Everyone, please play full out in the chat. All right. We have lots of 5. All right. I'm still not getting some responses from you guys. Come on, I want you to just respect my time, and I really want everyone to have the real essence of these sessions, because we are utilizing our time and we are spending the most precious asset we all have, time. All right, so if you score 5 or less than 5, here are some of the questions you can ask to yourself. What are the grammar forms or tenses that get you stuck? So you really have to think, what are the grammar forms and tenses that get you stuck all the time? So when you're speaking, what is it that get you stuck? Question 2 you'll be asking to yourself is, do you sometimes avoid saying something because you're not sure how to build a sentence? It happens to us sometimes that we avoid saying something because we're not sure how we can construct that sentence. So if you have that kind of situation, ask, what is that something? What are you avoiding? And address them. You cannot just get rid of those problems by avoiding. You have to face them. So just try to find out what is it that you are avoiding just because you do not know how to construct your sentences. And last question you'll be asking about grammar is, what tenses confuse you? It happens to us. Some tenses are very easy. We use it very easily, but for some tenses we are confused. We are not sure how to use them. And even if we know, when we use, we make a lot of mistakes. Mostly I have seen in my experience, in teaching experience, most people struggle with past tense. So they know the tenses, they know the past tense of go is went, but they make constant mistake. They just say go instead of went. So you really have to ask this question and answer them. All right. Now let's score our comprehension or listening score, our listening ability. Once again, on a scale of 1 to 10, you are going to score your listening ability, listening comprehension. So 1 would be, I barely understand people when they speak English. That means if someone speaks English, you have no idea what they are talking about. And of course, that's not the case. I'm talking to you in English and you all are understanding. So of course, 1 is not applicable in our situation. So 1 would be, you do not understand anything when someone talks in English. 10 would be, I understand native and non-native speakers completely at any speed in most common dialects. So if that is the situation, that means even if you listen to native speakers or non-native speakers at any speed, in most common dialects, and most common dialects are most common accents, like American accent, British accent, Canadian accent. These are common accents. So if you understand, of course, there are some specific accents which are very problematic for some people, but if you are understanding these common dialects, these common accents at any speed from anyone, whether it's a native speaker or non-native speaker, you'll give 10. So just come on, score your listening. Let me look into the chat. Atif says 9, Usna 7. All right, come on everyone, I want everyone to just, okay, let me see. Pernab 9, perfect. Calf 7 to 8, all right. Okay, Ella says 6, Shweta 8. All right. Alrighty, so it seems to me that everyone is just very good at listening. That's great. All right, so if you score less, about 5 or less than 5, here are some of the questions. When do you find it hard to understand what people say? So you really have to think, if you struggle with this specific listening scale, what is the specific setting you are struggling? Sometimes some people have difficulty understanding native speakers, especially in movies or TV shows. So you really have to think about that. Some people struggle to understand talk shows. So you really have to understand in what context you find people hard to understand. The second question is, what accents are hard for you to understand? So is there any specific accent where you find it difficult to understand? So you really have to note down that specific accent so you could really plan your learning accordingly. The third question is, are there certain situations where you find it harder to understand people? So is there any specific certain situation, like in a business setting? If someone is talking to you and that happens to be your boss, sometimes it happens that someone is talking to you and they happen to be some kind of authority. So we do not understand really. So you really have to think about it. What is that certain situation? All right, now let's score our mindset and confidence. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you score your confidence and mindset? 1 is like I'm too afraid to open my mouth and I hardly ever speak. That is 1. That means you are too afraid to open your mouth. When you are invited to speak, you are just shivering. If that's you, you'll be giving 1. 10 would be I'm proud of my English, I'm expressive, I enjoy speaking, and I feel confident and authentic when I speak. That means you have no issue with speaking. You just stand up and speak. Come on, everyone. Shout me out your score in the chat. I'm gonna read. Perna 4, let me see. Habiba 1, all right. Sanjit 6, Husna 5. Everyone, please, come on. Do not be a listener only. I want you to just play full out. Arman 6, Ella 8. All right. All right, perfect. So this is an integral part of fluency, confidence, because I have seen many times that people know a lot of stuff, but they do not dare to open their mouths because their confidence is very low. All right, so if you want to fix this confidence, if you want to plan your learning, you can ask these questions. What is stopping you from communicating freely in English? So you want to speak English freely in a free manner. But what is it that is stopping you? Is it some kind of belief? And sometimes it happens like, I do come across some students, they say, when I tried speaking in the past, someone laughed at my speaking. It happens in some classrooms, some teachers laugh at someone's English, and those little experiences create some limiting belief in our mind that I will never get English. So you really have to think, what is it? What is that stopping you from speaking English freely? The second question you can ask yourself is, what opportunities did you say no to because you were afraid your English wasn't enough? So let's say you got some opportunity, but you say no to those opportunities because you thought that your English wasn't enough. Maybe you were afraid, what if I get that opportunity and I signed up for that? Later on, my English is not enough for that situation. So just think about that situation. Next question is, how often do you get caught in negative thoughts? So of course, I'm not telling that no one feels negative about their English sometimes. I do feel sometimes negative about my English. It happens to all of us. But just ask this question, how often do you get these kind of questions or these kind of thoughts? That means sometimes you feel like, oh, it's too hard. English is complicated. Look at the pronunciation. It does not make sense. Spelling is this and pronunciation is that. We have those kind of experiences. So all those things create some kind of negative thoughts. So just ask this. When do you feel like that? Or how often? All right. Now, active vocabulary. On a scale of 1 to 10, you have to score your active vocabulary. 1 is like, I often forget important words and I cannot seem to remember new ones. So if you're speaking and you keep forgetting new words and you really forget and you just keep remembering and you keep just going deep inside of your subconscious mind to bring your word, still you do not get, and you say, like, if that's you'll give 1. 10 would be like, words come easily to me and I'm using new words all the time. So 10 is like, when you speak, words come to you very easily. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to express, you get the exact words you are looking for. And even if you learn new words, you are able to use them. If that's you, give 10 to yourself. All right, so let me look now. Kamala 2, Sanjit 5, Kaf 6 to 7, Habiba 5, Atif 7, Arman 5, Wasna 7, Ella 6, Shweta 5. All right, we have 20 people, including me, and I'm just getting responses, 6 to 7 responses. Okay. K. Motu, I don't know. I'm butchering your name, 7. All right. Okay, so if you score 5 or less than 5, here are some of the questions. Question 1, how often do you get stuck looking for a word? So if you struggle and if you score 5 or less than 5, ask this question. How often do you get stuck looking for a word? So when you're speaking, you get stuck and you start memorizing the word or looking for the word, then how often? You should be answering this question. Next, do you feel that you are missing important words? So this is very important because sometimes it's okay, we do not get the exact what we are looking for. We can use some alternate words. But if you feel that you miss important words, and it is very critical for effective communication that you use the right word in the right context. I know it sounds advanced, some kind of, I'm not gonna frighten you or give all these things. These are the things which can get settled automatically when we just go through the stages. But I'm telling you, we have to use words in context. So if you feel that you always miss important words, just think about it. What are those important words you're missing? Next question is you have to ask, what type of words would you like to add to your active vocabulary? This is very important. So let's say you want to improve the words in your specific field. So if you're a doctor, you want to improve your medical vocab. If you're an engineer, you want to improve your specific field's vocab. If you're a teacher, you want to improve your vocab where you can really express and explain your subject in the best possible way. So you have to really look for the area where you are trying to improve your vocab, a specific area. All right, if that's active vocabulary. Now let's talk about speaking time. 1 is like, I do not have any interaction in English with people. That means zero interaction, no talking in English. 10 would be, I speak more than 4 hours a week and I take on any opportunity, a speaking opportunity that comes my way. So if you feel that you always take the opportunity that comes your way when you speak, and you speak at least 4 hours a week means in 7 days you speak at least 4 hours of English, then you'll be giving 10. All right, let me see the chat. Kamala 1, Atif 8, Husna 7, Kaf 1, Arman 1, Sanjit 4, Kemodo 3, Shweta 6. All right. Pranav 3, Habiba 4. All right. Okay. So if you score 5 or less than 5, here are some of the questions. How much time do you speak in English per week? So ask this question. If you do not speak English at all, just try to speak 20 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. Just start speaking. So you have to ask, how much time do you speak per week? And if you speak English, this is a very important question. How varied are your conversations? Because if you just keep speaking on the same topic again and again, you're going to get the same result. All right. So it is very critical for you to speak on a variety of topics, because real situations are not one style. We have to communicate in all the settings, all the different areas. So we should have this ability to speak in all the areas. For that, you have to practice your speaking in all of the areas. So that is very important. Consider this question. Next, are you avoiding speaking opportunities? And this is very important. Why? Because I have seen some people, they avoid speaking. And I do understand it is not easy to speak because you feel someone is going to judge you. You have those kind of fears. I do get it. I have experienced that. But let's say you have an opportunity, you have some issues and you can call the customer care. But you feel like, oh, I'm not feeling comfortable talking to a customer care. So you go to email and you send the email to them. That's way easier for you because you can write and you can take your time, but you are avoiding a speaking opportunity. So do not do that. Take the opportunity, challenge yourself. I always say failure is the currency of your mastery. So if you want to get the mastery, you have to have fails or failures. Why? Because first of all, no one is perfect. Everyone makes a mistake. It's all about communication, not perfection. If you are able to connect with someone, that's it. That's our goal. If you're looking for perfection, no one is perfect. Do you not make mistakes when you speak your own language? You do, but you do not give a damn about it. Why? Think about it. All right? Okay. All right, my friends. Now, so we scored all our pillars of the fluency. And now when we look at the pillars, we will see this is where I need to work on because I score less in this pillar. I told you the idea is to balance the wheel. All right. Okay, now we're gonna set a 90-day goal. That is critical. I'll come back to it. You might ask this question, why do we need a goal? You need a goal because you have to know where you're going to get what you want. So let's say you want to speak fluent English, but if you do not have any specific goal, then you are not going to go with one way. You can take any paths. It does not matter because you do not have end goal. So we have to know where you're going to get what you want. If you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. Lawrence Geppetto. So if you have no idea where you're going, you can end up anywhere. It does not matter because you do not have any goal. So we have to have a goal. And goals allow you to measure your progress. When you have a goal, it will help you. It will allow you to measure your progress. You can see that how much I have achieved. Next, it also helps you and allow you to celebrate your success. Because if you do not have a goal, you'll never get to know when you are succeeding. But if you have a goal and you achieve that, now you know this is my success and you'll celebrate it. And all those celebrations create some confidence inside of you. Next, it also allows you to work from a place of clarity. When you have a goal, you know exactly this is the way that is going to lead me to my goal. So you will be going through that way. You are not going to go that way, okay? So for that reason, goals is important. Now the question is, and this is very common because I have seen many people, they set a goal, they write their goals on paper, but they just remain on the paper. We really do not execute that. So let's talk about a goal that is a good goal. And the question is, what makes a good goal? And I'll be telling you, this is a very common acronym. I think some of you might know this. A SMART technique. S stands for specific. And when I say specific, when you are setting a goal, your goal should be specific. For example, some students come to me and say, sir, I want to speak fluent English. If that's your goal, how would you decide that you are speaking fluent? Can you say that you're 20% fluent, 40% fluent? No. But instead of saying that, if you say, I want to speak 5 minutes without getting stuck 2 times, or without getting stuck more than 2 times. So when you say this, now you can know exactly if you have achieved your goal. It's specific. Another example would be like, let's say you say, I want to improve my public speaking. I want to speak more in public. So that is not a very specific goal. That's not very specific. But if you say, I want to give a 5-minute presentation to my peers, that is a specific goal, right? You know exactly you have to achieve 5 minutes of public presentation. So make your goal specific. Next, it should be measurable. That means you can measure it. And that is very important. If you cannot measure your goal, you will never feel like you're getting close to your goal or not. Next would be achievable. It should be realistic. On one hand, you have to challenge yourself, but you have to set your goal that is realistic. And we are setting goal for just 90 days. I will be giving you a template that will be comprised of all these materials, smart. I will be giving you the template. But understand, your goal should be realistic. Realistic means, let's say, for example, if I'm an actor, and in 90 days, if I want to win Oscar, that's not possible. That's a way bigger goal, right? So of course you can set your 1-year goal, 5 years goal, but just think of the time and make it realistic. Of course, you can challenge yourself. It's not like you set a very easy goal. I normally say you have to just challenge your 20%. So look at your current level and challenge your 20%. 20% is a good percentage for 90 days. Next, it should be relevant. Relevant means the goal should be meeting your desire or objective. For example, if you're learning English, why are you learning English? Maybe you're learning English for your job. Maybe you're learning English as you want to become a teacher, a coach. Maybe you're learning English because you want to travel the world. So you have to make your goal relevant. And the last one that is very important, that is time. That means your goal should have a deadline. Because let's face it, if we have some assignment and we have no deadline, what do? We procrastinate, right? We say, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes, right? So we have to have a deadline. This is the last date. Of course, if you do not achieve the goal, that's another thing. But you should have a goal that is time bounded. All right. Do not put these kind of messages in the chat. All right. Okay, so now the question is, what is your goal for the next 90 days? And for that, I want you to ask one question. This is a leading question. And guys, let me tell you, question is the most powerful weapon we have. If we ask the right question, our life can change. You got all those leading questions. That questions will enable you to get your 20% where you need to work on. And that 20% will move the needle. And that will take you to the next level. This question is, who is the person I need to be that has the things I want for myself? So you have to ask this question that will help you understand what your goals should be. So who is that person that has the things? That means that person has all those things you are dreaming for yourself. So just think for yourself. Think about that person. All right, now what you're looking at is a goal statement template. I have made everything super easy for you. Now, what I have done, I have taken all those ingredients, which I just talked about, is specific, measurable, realistic, time-bound, right, relevant, and I put everything into this, and I have made one simple statement because you could create your own goal. One of my coaches is Tony Robbins, and I love his work. He says, complexity is the enemy of execution. If something is difficult, people are not going to execute that. And for that reason, I try to make everything super simpler. So my students could really implement that, use that. So your goal would be like this. My 90-day goal is to speak fluently for a specific duration. A specific duration, you have to mention for what duration you want to speak fluently. In minutes, without getting stuck, more than, and then you have to mention a specified numbers of times. For example, I can say my 90-day goal is to speak fluently for 5 minutes without getting stuck more than 2 times. You're looking at this goal. This is super clear, crystal clear. You can get to know if you have achieved this goal or not. If you're speaking for 5 minutes and you're getting stuck 10 times, now you know you have to reduce 8 times. And now we are going to make it relevant. And how can we do that? We will add this line, which will enable me to speak confidently with your target audience. Why are you learning English? With target audience, if you're a teacher, your target audience would be students. If you are in customer service industry, your target audience could be customers, different customers. Or you can even mention setting, like confidently with my workers at my home, at my school, at my company. You can mention a specific setting or context. So I want everyone to take this screenshot of this, and that would be your assignment. And I'm telling you, I told you I need only serious people. So whatever assignment, of course, I'm not going to bombard a lot of assignment to you, but I'll be giving you mini assignment, and you have to post in the group. If you do not post, I will remove you, my friend. I told you that I'm not a rude person, but I really want you to be serious, and I want you to succeed. So if you do not send your assignment within the time period which I give you, you will be removed from the group. So you have to take this screenshot of this, and you have to write your own goal. Also mention your name would be mandatory, like optional. If you want, you can mention, but you have to post your goal, 90-day goal in the group. Of course, right now you cannot send in the group. I will open the group and you can send. And the deadline would be, you have to send by tomorrow, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. by 4 p.m. Even if I get to see anyone after 4 p.m., no one has shared their goal, that will send me a message that you are not serious. And my friend, I respect your time. I will let you go from my group. All right. And now we are talking about action plan very quickly. I know we have almost met the time. So action plan, because just having a goal is one thing, but to achieve that goal, we have to have action plan. An action plan would be, you have to at least allocate 30 minutes of your time on your focused language learning. So I told you all those questions. You will create your action plan, that this is what I'm going to work on in my pronunciation, in my grammar, in my speaking time, and you will work for 30 minutes. Then you have to participate in conversation groups. We will just have a conversation group in like 5 minutes, and I will show you how you can practice. You will be speaking. For that, you have to at least participate in 2 or 3 conversation group where you will get a topic and you'll get some sub questions so you could practice. The third activity which I highly recommend to my students is video posting. I have mentioned on Facebook, you can post anywhere, but even if you do not plan on posting, you can just record a video and you can keep it to yourself. But when you're recording a video, trust me, this is the best solution to boost your confidence. I'm telling you with my own personal experience. So you can just record 2 to 3 videos every week. So this is the action plan that will get you close to your goal. All right, my friend. Now the question is, does your 90-day goal get you excited? Let me know, yes or no. Of course, you have to write your goal and you have to share. But right now, does your 90-day goal get you excited? Are you excited about your 90-day goal? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Let me see. All right, Dinesh, Matav, Shweta, Habiba, Pranam, Atif, Ella, Anushka, Sanjit, Kaf, Kamala. All right, perfect. Okay, so now, everyone, that's the end of our day one session. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into conversation group. And let me very quickly explain how this is gonna work. So conversation group is designed for you to speak in a very safe environment and in a very simpler way. Because I do understand when you start on a speaking journey, you have a lot of issues. You fear speaking, you are afraid that someone is going to judge you. But our community is the safest place because no one judges you, everyone encourages you. So look, in a moment, I'm going to give you a topic. Let's say the topic for today is traveling. Everyone loves traveling. And that is the main topic. But under that topic, I will be giving you 10 sub-questions. 10 sub-questions means you will get all these questions that will be related to traveling. And when you are going to speak, you can just ponder over, you can think about those questions, and those questions will get you some ideas, and that will help you speak easily. So what I'm going to do is, I have told you the topic, which is the traveling, and let me share and show you once so you could get the clarity. Here we are. All right, so you're looking at my screen right now. The topic is traveling, so you can see here are 10 sub-questions related to the topic of traveling. Like, where is a place you would like to visit? Here is another question. Have you been to any interesting places recently? So like this, we have many questions. So in a moment, I am going to send you in a breakout room. So basically, you will get one partner. There will be just one partner in your room, and you two will be talking on this traveling topic, looking at these questions. So very easy. One partner can ask one question, another will be answering for some time, then another partner will ask another question to his partner, then he will be talking. So I'm going to send you in a conversation group in a breakout room for 10 minutes. And you'll be getting 5 questions right now, and you will get to speak on that topic. Not 5 questions, I'll send you all the questions. You can choose any question which is easier to you, right? No force. So if you have never gone to breakout rooms, don't worry, let me explain. I'll be sending you breakout, I'll be just conducting breakout room from my end. You will get a pop-up on your screen to join a room. Once you click join, you will be redirected to a room where your partner will be waiting for you. So we have 20 people. I am going to create 10 rooms. And do not hesitate, guys, please. This is the time many people just say, I'm not going to speak. This is just for fun. Don't worry. All right. So fortunately, I'm going to be partnered with one. I am including 20 people. So I will have one partner as well. Let's see who is that going to be. So everyone will be talking in pair, one-on-one. All right. So everyone ready? Let me know in the chat. Come on. All good? Excited? I do not get lots of yeses. Shweta, Yusuf, Lisna. Perfect. Alrighty, so let's do it. All right, so let me send you the questions so you could have the questions with you. I am posting in the, I'm just sending in the chat. You can just look in the chat when you are communicating, when you are in the chat. And here is the chat. Let me see. Okay, here the your message is too long. Okay, it is saying your message is too long. Let me eliminate some of the questions, or I can send in 2 times. Just 1 second, guys. I really appreciate that you have stayed till now. Let me do this. All right. So I have posted all the questions in the chat. You can copy and paste in your notes or anywhere where you can see while talking. So you could ask the question to your partner so they can speak. All right, so now I'm gonna set the breakout room. I will be setting 10. You'll get a pop-up in a message, just click joining and you will be redirected to your partner.